Hey ratbags, it's Jay. Today I'm giving you a lowdown on crafting in Nightingale. A little preview of what to expect in probably one of the most intense crafting games I have played, but oh so satisfying. There's just so much to do, so many crafting benches. It's really in depth. Min-maxers are going to love it. Hopefully if you're not that inclined, you'll still be able to go ahead and craft some pretty decent gear, but it definitely needs a good explanation. Bear in mind this is a preview video, so some things may have changed slightly. As far as I know, this build is pretty close to final release, only a few weeks beforehand the actual final build. Now I know some people really didn't like the UI, definitely know there's changes incoming for the early access launch, but I do believe that a lot of these core systems like the crafting are still going to be the same, so let's go for it. So Nightingale relies on a system much like any other. Open up your crafting bench, see the recipes, and then you've got to input your ingredients to craft it. This is where it gets a little bit different though. Unlike a lot of survival games where you only have like one type of wood, or maybe you come across a variant of wood later on that you can only use for specific uses, Nightingale has multiple options in pretty much all of its resources. That's because of the realms. The realms, depending on the biome and the major cards that you play, will have different resources, and some of these resources are in tiers all the way up to tier 5. You won't be able to harvest a lot of these until you get the right tools, and obviously you won't be able to access some of these realms until you progress. But once you start gathering more and more and exploring, you'll quickly realise that your crafting options are going to really multiply, because everything's got its own attributes and you can use multiple different types of a resource like rocks or wood to gain certain effects on your armour and weapons. As I said, when you look inside and you choose whatever it is you want to craft, some things can be pretty basic like stone blocks. But there are multiple stone blocks that you can gather. Stone block gneiss, stone block sandstone, stone block schist. Now you can use all three of these if you really wanted to, and they do have different properties. Now some of these properties will transfer over to something that you're making. As I said, normally armour and weapons. Some of this does get lost obviously in translation. Doesn't really matter what some of this does if it's going to be used just for base building. So you choose what you want. You can then adjust how many you want to craft, press the craft button, and there we go. It is going to be crafting up our stone blocks. Everything's got a timer. You'll clearly see whenever you go to craft something how long it might take for something to make. As long as the realm's open, that will cook. Even if you log off and your friend's still on, it should necessarily go through. Now, different crafting benches, the upgraded ones, won't speed up this. Instead, that falls to the augmentations, which we'll talk about in a while. So, lots of resources have multiple different variants and different tiers, but they can all be used for the same purpose. When it comes to making armour and weapons, again, that's going to need another video where I'll go through the different elemental properties of what all the different ore do. That's when things really will start affecting your armour and weapons, and basically what modifiers you're going to be applying to them. And you may have seen from other streams and creators this anyway, but you can really see there's so many different meats. The Beelzebub, the Everheart, Bandersnatch, Deathweaver Spider, Field Swine, and the Monarch Locust, as well as the Wild Bear. It's nice and easy to see that these are higher tiered meats because they've got the little crown on. And I'm hoping that the early access launch or an update in the future will make some of this stuff a bit easier to see as well. Because even within the tier 1s and tier 2s, I still think we need a bit of more visual help in showing what one of these are instead of having to hover over it. So you will have to pay close attention to take a look at what the attributes are going to give you, especially when it comes to armour, weapons. For things like potions, it doesn't matter any of the attributes on it, as the end result will always pretty much still be the same. Slight healing potions give you 100 health, the moderate healing potions give you 250. It doesn't matter if you use the best bones, the best colourful glass or the best coral, you're still only going to get that same result. In this respect, I do kind of wish it wouldn't maybe show up on the right hand side, which it does, with the attributes supposedly on it, since so much of it isn't really going to matter for some of this stuff. And likewise, with a lot of the building materials, you just won't need to panic or worry about using the best materials, because you're not going to get any of the attributes or bonuses associated with it, depending on what you use. For people that really don't care about min-maxing and just want to craft stuff as soon as they're able to, then you can always use the autofill button. As long as you've got the materials on you, it will pretty much do the job. Now to check on crafting, to give you a bit more guidance and help, you can go into the crafting menu and you have a good look, and it will tell you exactly how to craft items, what benches you'll need. Some of the items that you'll be looking for will also need augmentations. A lot of items unlock, especially crafting materials and refined materials, you'll unlock when you do go ahead and get a upgrade to the crafting bench, or you unlock one of its augments. Things like clothing, you still have to do a bit of work. Lots of this is hidden behind recipes that you have to buy from essence traders, or you might be lucky enough to get it as a reward by completing encounters. This Calcurian jacket you can see here, it's crafted at any of the benches with the tailor sign on it, and in this case it has to be the excellent sewing bench, which is one of the last late game sewing benches you can get. But you'll also need an augment, cooking knife, a hunting fishing trap, high tent, mounted creature skull, or unsprung trap. So that means you need one of them augments close by to the actual spinning wheel, otherwise it won't necessarily open up with the item that you want. So when you go ahead and craft something, you'll see the expected results here. Of course, you can click on show unknown and it will show all the different items in the game that are available, but lots of this stuff you won't be able to access until you get the right benches later on. A few other things you need to know. If you place your crafting benches outside, it will take longer to craft items in it. There are some cards, or I do believe maybe a charm or something that you can use that reduces this or stops this from happening if you do just want to have a really open plan outside base. But you can check this for yourself. Go to station traits and it says it decreases the growth rate by 25% up to a maximum of 75. It's going to take 15 seconds to make these pointed boots. If we move it inside, or at least under shelter, it now only takes 5 seconds. You can see all the augment slots above a crafting bench, so this is all the decor that you can have around to give it a boost in either speed or unlocking new recipes, and sometimes giving extra buffs, which I'll talk about in a while. If we go ahead and place this sawhorse next to it, you can see it's now filled up one of the slots, and just by adding that one single augment, we have now given us the ability to add encumbrance plus on our items. I'm pretty sure encumbrance plus will give us extra carrying ability. Although in this preview version it's not 100% clear exactly what they do, but they're obviously some sort of buff. You can see all the different effects that your armor and weapons have. Health regen ++, stamina regen ++. So it pays to go ahead and make sure you've got augments on all of your benches to the max whenever possible. Not every augment is going to give you one of them buffs, some will just only unlock certain recipes. By adding that sawhorse, we also get to see the different recipes that it will unlock once you've gained or found these recipes out in the world. I ain't gonna lie, this can be a bit confusing. You just think, oh, I've got all these recipes now, I can surely go ahead and craft them, but you do need to find them out in the world. And you can see as well, now we're sheltered, we've got the refinement time is increased by 10 seconds. So, place the items inside, making it with just crude fibre and regular bound straps. We get a stealth rating of 1.3, a blocking efficiency of 1%, and maximum health 15%. So these other traits aren't exactly that amazing, are they? Obviously if I increase or make the items better, then I will help start getting better results. So your attributes are always directly impacted by the materials you use to craft your armour and weapons. To check what augments work with each crafting bench, because some work with multi, again you can go into the guidebook, go to building, find the item you want, and then you'll see all the different augments that will actually work with it. Any of the augmentations that have these symbols you can go ahead and place and utilise to help boost up your refined sewing bench. To be honest, it's nearly all of them here, so it would be a case of putting the right augmentations down for what you want to craft or what kind of bonuses and buffs you want to unlock. Last thing to mention as well is that another thing you want to make sure of is having everything lit up well, as this also decreases the refinement time just by making sure you've got light. Like this chandelier above my stations is going to make everything quicker. There is a limit to how much you can reduce stuff. Obviously I'm down to like 1 second here with this armor, but definitely in terms of cooking up ingots, which take real long time to actually craft, it's vital that you get some of these augments on some of them longer things. The game could probably do a better job of explaining what each augment's going to do before building and placing it, as obviously you might not want to waste the resources on something and then realise actually it's giving you extra stealth or extra maybe stamina when all you really wanted was extra critical damage. But remember, you can dismantle everything and get all your resources back. And presently, as I said, I haven't clarified exactly what these bonuses or buffs do. They just pop up in green or blue numbers and writing on your items, so endurance ++, health ++, etc. Just last couple of things, if you go ahead and make something you don't want, you can dismantle it and get essence in terms of armor and weapons, but you won't get any of the original resources that you crafted it. It only works for crafting benches and decor items that you get stuff back. If your base is attacked and any parts of your base gets destroyed, you won't get the full portion of resources back also. So you will have to make sure your base is repaired well and that you don't have too many enemies attacking. Yep, you forgot the crucial bit. Yeah, well done. I'm down. I'm up. Fucking hell. Katari. Why would you not? Fuck it, I'm down again. It's a good thing we've got a new house to go to. Might as well just go move into. Fucking hell, look, it's demolished upstairs. Look. Shoddy building, mate. Shoddy building. So yes, don't build too close to a stone fey portal, as sometimes when you open them, enemies will still come through, but that doesn't happen normally when you've got your own mini portals. We didn't lose the resources in the chests, we only lost what the actual chests were made out of. Shout out to Katari there, and good idea. Once you get to the mid-late game, you may really need to concentrate on getting certain resources to get the absolute maximum gear, because you won't be able to harvest resources. There is stuff that in the preview is 230. Even with the epic purple gear, the pickaxe you see there, it's only like 209 that I can do damage. That's because I didn't use the maximum quality best wood or stone or ores to craft it. You will be able to apply charms that give increased damage, so that's definitely something you can work towards as well, even if you have ended up crafting something that maybe you don't want to have to craft again because its level's too low, but that's something to bear in mind as well. And that will all be coming in another video, talking about the charms, enhancements that you can apply to your weapons and your gear, because it is important. Last thing to really mention is that every crafting bench has upgrades. There's 3 tiers for pretty much every bench. Whether it's the tanning station, whether it's the cooking, whether or not it's the forge, all of these will have various different versions. So it goes from simple to refined to excellent. There's a couple exceptions that are called not excellent but just something different, because they are very different, but pretty much they'll allow you to craft and make stuff with the right materials, the tier 3, and unlock more recipes. Components and refined items that you might need, like buckles, blades and stuff like that, you won't obviously have to find recipes for, but you obviously will need the upgraded benches to go ahead and craft. You won't need your former crafting benches either, so you can dismantle them and get the resources back, or have them as seconds so that you can go ahead and craft or smelt things a lot quicker by splitting them across. Hopefully that's explained crafting and the augmentations. Got any questions? Leave them in the comment section down below and I'll try and answer them as best I can. But obviously make sure you're subscribed, you've got the notification bell dinged, as there's going to be an absolute ton of Nightingale content over the next coming days and all the way through till release and beyond. So until next time, ratbags, I'll catch you later.